Colbert behind Vance gets the carry, and he's got a touchdown. Jordan Colbert, the sophomore out of San Joaquin Memorial. Jacob English along with J.C. Turner in their receiver. They fake it to Chavez. Vance looking to throw. Has some time. Now running. Jump pass, and he's got English for the touchdown. It's a TD for City, and it's a jump pass beauty, Shannon.
I like that.
Our Curry in the shotgun. Going to give it to Nelson again. The ball's loose. It's on the ground. I think Niemeyer's got it for Fresno City.
Rams ball, baby.
He does. Jacob Niemeyer with the fumble recovery. That exchange in the backfield there between our Curry and Nelson on the mesh. Ball popped loose, and Niemeyer, Johnny on the spot with the fumble recovery. Yaje's going to throw. Looking far side. He's got an open man out there. He's got a completion. He's at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown. That's Bo Farmer, the freshman out of Nevada, with his first touchdown as a Fresno City Ram. 1st and 15 now from their own 28. Our Curry drops back, now steps up in the pocket. Maybe going to run. No, he stops and throws deep. Could be intercepted. Jamari Carter got his hands on it. It's an interception for Jamari Carter. All right, Dean Scrivener out there. He's been really good pinning teams deep as well this season. Oh, they do run a fake. It's Scrivener on the fake. He's got the 40, the 30. He's all alone. He's at the 25, 20, 15. Cuts back at the 5. Touchdown, Fresno City. Dean Scrivener on the fake punt. It's a TD for City, and it's a punt fake beauty.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful play.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Fresno City Football Report right here on the KC24 CBS 47 Plus app. The Rams coming off a nice win over the weekend over Sacramento City College, 31-7 at Ratcliffe Stadium. As always, joined by the head coach of the Fresno City College football team, head coach Tony Caviglia, and he's brought a player with him, as he always does. Coach, introduce me to who you got here today.
Yep, Jimmy Cranford. He's our left guard from Kingsburg High School, and been a great player for us for the last 2 years. Never missed a game, never missed a practice, never missed a play, and he's definitely a warhorse. And we're excited to talk to him a little bit today.
Jimmy, tell me a little bit about your background as an athlete and how you ended up at Fresno City College.
I started playing football at Kingsburg High School my sophomore year, and I ended up playing defense first year, and then I played offense the second year. And then I ended up playing at Fresno State. I walked on for a year, didn't work out, and then gave Coach C a call. He said, we'd love to have you. So came over there and had a great year last year and having a great year this year.
You know, before we started this show, Jimmy and Coach C were kind of talking like coaches here. Coach, do you kind of feel like he's a coach at this point? He's an experienced sophomore player on that offensive line?
Oh, yeah. He's the guy I go to when things aren't quite working up front. You know, it's always, Jimmy, what is going on? And he usually has a good answer. I don't know if it's usually right or not, but he always has some reply. Yeah, he's definitely the brains of the operation in that group, and fortunate to have a seasoned veteran like him in the offensive line.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more with Jimmy here as we go on. But, Coach, I want to ask you about the win over Sac City. First off, great to get back on track, right, and to have a good feeling in that locker room afterwards.
You know, we left a lot of plays out there. Obviously, as a coach, you're always looking at trying to improve. You know, there's some things that we didn't do real well, but there's some things we did really, really well. And I saw this team take another a forward step this week, and you know, we could have went sideways, and you know, coming off a couple three losses now. I mean, we could have went sideways, and this team showed up, and they just they put their nose to the grindstone and went to work and practiced well, and we got a W. And it was really good to play well in front of our homecoming crowd. We had a number of players there that. There were some guys there that played in the 60s that came to the game, and being able to play good in front of them, as well as our we had the parade of athletes at halftime. We had all the athletes from the college there, and it's just great to represent the athletic department and to play well on homecoming.
Give me an offensive and defensive standout for you after you've watched the film of it.
Oh, I think offensively. Number of guys. I was really happy with Jordan Colbert. But Jordan Colbert played really well. That great run he made down the sideline, really set the tone for the day. And then defensively, again, Jamari Carter had an unbelievable interception on the sideline. I think our secondary played their best game to date. I was happy with the entire group. And, we got some good pressure on the quarterback. Made a few little mistakes up front, but I just going into the game, we talked about being able to have yards after a catch and being able to get off the field on defense, which we hadn't been able to do the last couple of games, but by getting sacks and tackles for losses and 3 and outs and those types of things, our defense really did that. Also, was very happy offensively that Bo Farmer came in for Noe and made some good plays. Caught a little comeback route, caught a vertical pass for a touchdown. It's good when the next guy up comes and does a nice job. So, all around team win, and I was just happy. And now we're on to the next.
Real quick, you mentioned Noe Felix. Just curious, he was one of those guys who nearly scored a touchdown. Looked like he hit the pylon, could have gotten in on a great effort by him, but unfortunately, he was down with what looked like a pretty serious injury. Can you update us on Noe?
Yeah, he actually, we took him in yesterday, Sunday, to get an X-ray. He's going to get an MRI on Wednesday, probably out this week. To the extent of the injury, we won't know until we get the results of the tests.
Gotcha. One thing that stood out to me looking at the stats was 219 yards rushing as well. At times this year, you guys have struggled to run the football. Was that a priority against Sac City?
Oh, yeah. Like Coach C said, getting past first level and breaking tackles was a big thing for us. Jordan Colbert had a good game, so that was big. I think our left tackle definitely stepped up, and our tackle play was a lot better this week.
How are you guys approaching the rest of the season? Because this is the home stretch, right? You have 3 regular season games remaining, and it kind of feels like every week is a must-win for you guys at this point.
To piggyback off of that, yeah, we need to win every game, but big thing for us is I want to get Coach C 200 wins, too. I think that's a big thing we need.
He's 2 away at this point.
We got it. I mean,
probably too early to start planning the Gatorade shower at this point, right? Yeah. But, that would be fun. Yeah, Coach, you're sitting at 198 career wins. I know that's not really what you're focused on. You're focused on winning games, staying in the hunt for that conference title, and remember, 2 extra teams getting into the playoffs this year, right? So, even if you win out, and if Modesto wins out, who has a win over you, or CO, something like that, you guys play COS down the line, but there could be a way maybe possibly to get in there even if you don't win the conference title, correct?
Yeah, that's great. You can talk about that all you want. I'm not going to talk about that too much. And I'd like to answer Jimmy's question that you asked Jimmy. We just need to be 1-0 each week. We need to win the next game and worry about everything at the end. Okay, the 200 wins, I'll take 199. It don't matter. I want to get this team playing well and into the playoffs if possible. And if you think about it, 199 wins is a lot of wins. 198 wins where we're at right now is a lot of wins, but it has nothing to do with this team. This team we need to get to 6 wins. We need to get in the postseason, and we need to continue to play better. That's really the most important thing.
Jimmy, I want to ask you about junior college football, just kind of in general, right? Because you're an experienced guy now. You've played a lot of games at this level. What do you think's the most underappreciated thing maybe about the JUCO level?
The biggest thing for me is just team morale is definitely something that you kind of build together. Being a junior college, I spent a little bit of time at a 4-year, and everybody's close there, but at junior college, it's just a whole nother level because you don't get everything you get at the 4-year, and at junior college, you just got to band together and work hard. I think that's a big thing for us.
And I think people don't really realize sometimes the level of talent that's out there, right?
Definitely with our team, we got a lot of dudes that can play at the next level, 100%. And our coaches just have definitely tapped into that. I know for me, I've gotten a lot football smarter with my O-line coach, Wiley Brand. Coach C's definitely helped. All the coaches that have been there in the past and that are there right now.
Having that experience at Fresno State, how would you compare the 2 levels?
I think the biggest thing for me was just taking what I saw on the whiteboard or in film to the field, and I've definitely done that at the 4-year or at the junior college level. Has definitely helped me transfer that over.
Your dad is a coach, like Coach C mentioned. He coached baseball at Kingsburg High, right? He played baseball under Bob Bennett
Yes, sir.
at Fresno State. And your mom is a diving coach,
Yes.
correct, as well?
At Kingsbrook High School, yes.
Okay. So first of all, why aren't you a diver at this point?
I'm not the most majestic on a diving board, I will say that, but
I would pay to see that.
she's definitely
Some
trying
of
to
his
get me.
teammates, I'm sure, would pinch into that as well. Yeah. So is that where you get your athleticism? Do your parents argue sometimes about who is more responsible for you being a good athlete?
A little bit here and there. I think they're kind of surprised I'm as athletic as I am. My sister didn't really, she didn't inherit that as much, so she's more the smarter one in the family.
Well, and we like to say, right, that, offensive linemen are athletes too, right? You're a great example of this because you played how many sports in high school?
Football, baseball, basketball, and I threw the shot and disc.
Okay.
In high school, so that was a big thing for me. That definitely helped me gain some athleticism, I think.
And you were a part of some Valley Championship teams? Tell me about it.
My senior year, I won a Valley in both basketball and baseball, and then my sophomore year, I won one in basketball as well at my freshman year. So
what position do you play? Center in basketball?
I played center, yes.
So you're 6'2", I think?
6'2", 6'2.5".
6'2". What was your basketball playing weight?
Probably that was like 285, I think. So not very much different than what I am now, but.
Coach, can you imagine trying to get a rebound against Jimmy in high school?
Yeah, you can't go through him. You got to go around him, definitely.
Exactly. It's like the baby Shaq out there, you know. What's the most underappreciated thing about being an offensive lineman? Some of the stuff we're talking about, as far as people don't realize like how good an athlete you have to be.
It's pretty much all guts, no glory. If you make a good play, it's on the running back. You make a bad play, it's definitely on you. Or if you give up a sack, it's on you. But if the quarterback throws a touchdown, it's great job, quarterback. I think that's a big thing.
How much are you reading what's going on each play? Some of us probably assume incorrectly that you're just going to do something automatically. But when you come up to the line of scrimmage, because there's signals going on between the O-line and the quarterback, correct?
A big thing for us is our O-line coach definitely emphasizes that we need to be able to read defenses. So for me, it's me and my center are trying to ID if there's a too high safety look, then we're probably getting a pressure from the boundary. Or a big thing is if, say, a defensive lineman's got his hand down inside, he's probably slanting inside. So we look for that, try and make sure we don't get caught in stunts and stuff. That has been a big thing for us this year.
Coach, you have much of an offensive line coaching background at all? I know you coach everything, but did you ever coach offensive line at all?
Yeah, I to me that's where I spend most of my time is with those guys in practice. Wiley played for me, tremendous young coach. But when the head coach comes down to O-line drills, the intensity picks up, and our offense does not do anything well if the offensive line's not in sync. And everybody thinks that the most specialized people are the receivers and the skill guys, but offensive linemen have to have a number of different skills. They have to have a number of different techniques. It's a hard job. It's a hard job to mold an offensive line, especially at the 2-year level when they just get to know each other sometimes in August, But yeah, for me, everything we do on offense revolves around what the offensive line can do, because if they're not in sync, then nothing really looks good.
Yeah.
And we've had some growing pains in that group this year. It's really good for the guys to, knowing that the guys are going to show up at practice and they're going to keep continuing to work hard to get better. And when they do things right, our offense goes pretty well, and we got a little glimpse of that Saturday.
If a college coach at the next level asked you about Jimmy, what would you tell him about him?
Well, he hasn't missed a play in practice. He hasn't missed a play in the game for 2 years. He's a soldier. Knock on wood, is healthy all the time. Always out there, always competing. And his knowledge of the game of football is amazing. And then when Jimmy locks onto a guy, gets his hands inside, starts driving a guy, it's over. He sticks to guys. He does really well on the perimeter with pulls and screens and those things. So he's got, just like you talk about a baseball player, 5-tool baseball. He's a 5-tool offensive lineman with his ability to run block, pass block, pull, do the things we do in the screen game with them, and on and on. So, somebody's going to pick him up, and they're going to get a guy for a couple years that's just going to really elevate their room.
Coach, you guys play at Monterey Peninsula this week. This is going to be a new experience for you. You've never played at Monterey Peninsula. Have you ever been to that stadium even?
Yeah, I drove by there, walked on the field this summer.
Oh, just to get a feel for it?
Yeah, I got done playing Cypress and Pebble Beach and Spyglass, and I said, let's just stop by and see the best, the field in Monterey. So we walked out there and looked at it a little bit, and it's a really nice setting. There's a lot of trees, and it's going to be a new experience for the Rams going over to Monterey.
Apparently, I didn't get the phone call, Jimmy, about playing Cypress or Pebble. You weren't on that list either?
I called. You didn't pick up.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably hanging out with Coach Tedford out there on the Monterey Peninsula. That'll be kind of interesting, right, Jimmy, going to Monterey for a game?
I think it'll be a good road trip for all the guys. Probably something a lot of the guys from out of state have never seen before, so that'll be a big thing.
And, Coach, Monterey Peninsula moved up from the lower division. For those who aren't as familiar with junior college football in the state of California, there's a national division, which is the top tier, and then there's an American division, which is the second tier. And teams can kind of be relegated, or taken down to the lower division every 2 years, right? They reassess it? And so Monterey Peninsula, which has had a terrific program at the lower division, moved up into the Valley Conference this year, and they got off to a great start. They were 6-0 through their first 6 games. Suffered their first loss over the weekend at COS. What do you know about them, and what are you expecting on Saturday?
Well, they're a confident program. They win games. They jumped up into Division I, and they went undefeated in non-conference. I was really shocked as how well COS beat them, but they did beat up on them a little bit last week. They know what they're doing. They got athletes, besides going to Monterey, it's going to be 60-degree temperature, 1 o'clock. It's going to be a beautiful day. We have to get our team focused between the lines and be ready to play this game. They're going to fight to the end because they're a confident team. They expect to win. They've been winning for many, many years. And when you have that in your program, there's a lot of pride. So it's going to be it's not going to be a cakewalk for us. I mean, they're a 6-1 team, and that's that means a lot. So we got to get ourselves ready for that.
Monterey Peninsula College for years coached by a Fresno City Wall of Famer, correct? Former quarterback Mike Rasmussen in the 1970s, part of those state championship teams, correct? In the early 70s, I believe. Do you have any relationship with Mike? Touch base with Mike from time to time?
Yeah, he actually texted me last week, and we talk every time we see each other. It's like, it's a great reunion. He was a great player. Went to Michigan State. Was a quarterback at Michigan State also, and he's one of the great guys in college football. He was a head coach at St. Mary's College when they had football in Moraga. He's Cal, big Cal. Was a coach at Cal, so he's a big Cal fan. Loves the Bears. He's he's a great Ram. He's involved in a lot of the things. He's always tries to wish the Rams good luck, and he's he's retired, and I think he's playing golf and growing grapes.
Was he out there with you at Cypress and Pebble?
No, he's not ready for that yet. But he's living his life right now, and I'm sure he'll be at the game Saturday, so it'll be good to see him.
Yeah, Mike, I believe, retired in 2019 from many, many years as the head coach at Monterey Peninsula College. Did a terrific job there over the years. Jimmy, the season's hitting the home stretch. Like I mentioned, you're a sophomore. Road trip. This will kind of be the last time that you really get on a long bus ride, unless you guys end up doing it in the playoffs, obviously. Do you start to appreciate these moments a little bit more, when you see that it's kind of winding down your time at Fresno City?
Yeah, I really had a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to see what we can do the last 3 games. But just like Coach G said, I mean, we want that playoff run. We want guys to get film. I want more film for myself too. So, yeah, I'm cherishing it. And
we want to get Coach C that 200th win, correct?
It's an added plus.
I'm just going to keep egging Coach on over here. You mentioned that you threw the discus in high school. How far could you throw it?
I think my farthest in disc was like 170 feet, and then shot put I was around 52 feet, give or take.
Did you qualify for state or?
I went to what was that? Is that what's one before Masters? I went to one before Masters.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Probably like the section meet,
Yeah,
something
I think
like
so,
that.
yeah.
When you saw McKay Madsen, because I'm sure you competed against him in these things with what he was doing, how crazy was that?
He was a stud. I remember going out there. I'm like, okay, what grade's this kid in? And then he's like 200 feet. I'm like, oh wow, a little bit above me, but he's a good athlete. I'm excited to see what he does at BYU.
Just to circle back to the diving thing, with your mom being a diving coach, have you ever gotten up on that top platform?
I've jumped off it. I don't know if I've ever done any dives. The flips kind of scare me. I'm afraid I'm going to backflip. I'm not really looking forward to that.
Did she ever try to kind of get you going with it at all? Or?
When COVID hit, I was a sophomore, so she was like, go try everything, because Kingsburg was still in school technically. We only ever went on the AM/PM schedule.
Okay.
So she was like, you can be on the team, kind of. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, you can jump in the pool every once in a while. I was like, okay. But a lot of my buddies did it, so she tried to get everybody to do it. So I was out there with her every once in a while.
That's pretty cool. Can she still do some cool dives?
Oh, I have no clue, but I hope I don't find out.
She probably watches the Olympics really closely, right, when the diving's on, which occurs to me, a question for you about when you watch a football game, does it change? Are you kind of focused in on that offensive line in a way, like if you watch an NFL game yesterday?
Yeah, I watched the Colts game last night, and I'm just a big fan of Quentin Nelson. The way he plays is it's insane to watch his moving parts play. He's a great athlete as an offensive lineman. He's been doing it for a long time. So, yeah, I watch the offensive line pretty hard.
Yeah. It occurs to me, too, Coach, that it seems like Jimmy's got the look for a guard, right? He's got a little bit kind of a half mullet going. He's got the 72-hour beard, there going. Does he just kind of fit the mold of a, for lack of a better word, and I'm not saying that of a big ugly up front?
Well, he's usually a big. He must have got some hair care products or something. But he's usually a big ugly when he shows up in that locker room. But he looks good today. Yeah, he does. He does.
Is there something about that, Jimmy, like a mindset? Having the beard, having the hair when you're playing O-line?
Yeah, I think the mindset's big. It's just the biggest thing our offensive line as a group is finish every play. So I think Big Uglies it sums up our group pretty well. We got a lot of big pollies that really get after it too, so they work hard.
I usually try to go up and find Coach Wiley Brand, your offensive line coach, before the game, if I can, if I have time to, because it's always fun to talk to him. Not only, right before a game, but even on at a Tuesday practice, because you go up to Wiley, and at that moment, he has already worked himself into a frenzy about the opponent, on Saturday, and it feels like he wants to take the field with you guys.
Yeah, that's a big thing. He kind of sums up the big, not big ugly mentality, but the big ugly mentality.
Oh, yeah, he's ugly. Yeah.
He's
a big ugly.
Yeah, I agree.
He'd probably take pride in that, right? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that O-line, a fun group to watch. You guys are, as Coach said, sounds like you're a little bit young, a little bit inexperienced, but is this the time of year when you kind of start seeing things come together?
Oh, yes, 100%. I think our younger guys are starting to figure it out. We got a lot of guys out of high school that just haven't played a whole lot of football yet, so this has been a big season for them. It'll be better for them next year to see where they go or whatever happens, but I definitely helped them enough to get their stuff going.
Coach, kind of big picture here, looking at the conference standings. I wrote them down. COS coming off that impressive win over Monterey Peninsula. I think they put over 60 points on the board on MPU this past weekend. They're 2-0. Modesto is 2-0 in the Valley Conference standings. Monterey Peninsula at 1-1. You guys at 1-1. Then you got Sac City at 0-2 and Reedley at 0-2. I know every game is huge when it comes to the conference race. But if you had to break down the conference this season, because I'm sure you get to see some film from the other teams as you're breaking down your next opponent, what do you think stands out to you about the conference this year?
Well, I think we played Modesto. I think they're probably the best team in the conference. They didn't have a real good non-conference schedule, but their ability to run the football, especially against us a couple weeks ago, was we don't see that very often. And if they could hold up and continue to do that, they own the time of possession. They used to be a real fast fly sweep team. Now they're just not even throwing it; they're just running it and a little play action pass. And the kind of, if they can keep having success doing that, I think they have an inside track. You know, COS played really inspired last weekend against Monterey. Watch that game, start to finish. I think they're probably they're going to be a great test for us in a couple weeks. We got to get past Monterey. Obviously, it's the most important thing. And then you know, I thought Sacramento was a little bit better team than what we saw Saturday. I don't think they played real well. Tough environment for them to come into because I thought we played inspired football. So you know, I think there's some separation. It's like any conference. There's somebody that's got to win, somebody's got to lose. You know, and not everybody can get wins. So it's just it's you know, I don't think there's a team in our conference that can't beat another team. So. You know, we're just gonna take it one game at a time, Scott. You love that coach speak, don't you?
I do. I love it. Right? We're gonna go 1-0 this week. It worked last week, Coach. Yeah, you went 1-0 last week. Yeah, exactly. I don't dislike coach speak. It's funny how, Jimmy, you'll find this when you have kids yourself and you start coaching them, like in Little League and this and that. Suddenly you'll see yourself just speaking like a coach when you're talking to the team and everything. And so I know that they are cliches for a reason and they're mottos for a reason. And absolutely.
They're tried and true.
They're tried and true. And one day at a time, one play at a time. That's all you can do. That's really all you can do. And you don't want to look too far ahead, but I think it is also at the same time, fun to have a team-wide goal. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, obviously of winning a state championship, and at this point, Coach, as we continue to embarrass you, of trying to get, Coach a few more wins here, as a great retirement gift, right? At this point, Jimmy, as he's going out. Coach, I'm just curious about road trips, right? This will be, one of your last real road trips, as the coach at Fresno City. What memories come to mind? Is there anything that stands out over the years? Maybe some interesting things that have happened to you when you've gone on the road?
Oh yeah, there's I could write a book about the road trip stories. But we don't look forward to road trips. It's a business trip. We just try to get on the bus and let the guys sleep and make sure they're nourished. They got food. And get to we have a routine now that we're dialed in with that doesn't change. When we get there, what we do when we get there. We've had some buses break down. We had some buses not show up, and we have some food not show up, and we've had a lot of over the years. If you think about it, as a head coach, 30 years of getting teams on a bus going to an away game. There's, making sure everybody's there, make sure guys didn't sleep in, it's just, it's part of the job, but yeah, no, obviously, and you say this all the time to me, it's a fun bus ride home after you win. Yeah, you guys had a good bus ride home, or, it's, when you win a game and you're on that bus, it don't matter how far away you are from home, it's a great ride home.
Absolutely. Yeah, at Monterey Peninsula College, this Saturday, 1 p.m. kickoff. Every game big now for both these teams, and specifically for Fresno City, as the Rams are sitting there at 3-4, 1-1 in the conference with 3 games left to play. Trying to keep those playoff hopes alive, trying to keep hopes alive for a conference title, so a ton on the line. We'll be on the air at 12:40 p.m. on 940 Kino. Saturday. And, just a reminder, you can catch the Fresno City Football Report each and every week. The initial show drops at 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and then you can find it on our KC24 CBS 47 YouTube channel as well. But download the KC24 CBS 47 Plus app, and you can keep track of Fresno City football all year long as the Rams try to do something special here down the stretch. Jimmy, as I get ready to say goodbye, I always ask the players, what'd you think about this experience?
Oh, it was a great experience, just talking with Coach U, talking with you. Hopefully look forward to do it again if we keep winning out, make it to the playoffs, win a state championship.
Oh, there you go. Coach, any final thoughts?
Nope. I just love Fresno City football. I love hanging around with guys like this.
All right, that's head coach Tony Caviglia, that's offensive guard Jimmy Cranford, and that's another edition of the Fresno City Football Report. Thanks for watching.